Chapter 8 of the Book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel was carried by God to a certain place. Then God showed the prophet Ezekiel the sins of the Israelites. Let's read it together. On the 5th day of the 6th month in the 6th year, I was sitting at home, and the elders of Judah were seated before me. There, the Spirit of the Most High Lord Yahweh fell upon me. I looked and saw a figure that had the appearance of a man. And it appeared as if fire was below his waist. And it seemed as though a radiant glow shone from his back, like sparkling crystal. He reached out with something that looked like a hand and grabbed a lock of my hair. Then the Spirit of Yahweh lifted me up and carried me between heaven and earth, in the sight of God. He brought me to Jerusalem, to the entrance of the inner court at the north gate of the temple, where there were idols that provoked God's anger, idols that aroused God's furious wrath and were detestable to him. Yet unexpectedly there appeared the manifestation of the glory of the God of Israel. Just like what I had seen in the plain. It was God who carried Ezekiel to Jerusalem, so that Ezekiel could witness the sin of the Jerusalemites in their idol worship. Let's continue with the next passage. Then I observed that the Israelites, the people of Jerusalem, were steeped in sin. Let's continue. He said to me, "Patient one, look toward the north." So I raised my eyes northward and saw, opposite the door of the altar, at the entrance there stood idols that provoked God's anger. He said to me, "Son of man, this is exactly the detestable deed that the house of Israel has committed here, which has driven me away from my sanctuary. Have you seen it? But you will witness even more abominable things." That is, at this moment, Ezekiel had already been taken to the temple of God in Jerusalem. Let's continue reading. He led me to the gate of the courtyard. I noticed a gap in the wall. He said to me, "Patient one, dig through the wall." So I began to dig through the wall, but unexpectedly there was a huge door. He said to me, "Go in and see the abominations being committed here." So I went in and saw on the walls carvings of various crawling creatures and repulsive idolatrous beasts, along with all the idols of the house of Israel. In front of these idols stood 70 elders of Israel. Anasiah, the son of Shaphan, was also among them. Each one held his own censer in his hand, and the incense smoke was rising upward. That is to say, God had brought Ezekiel to Jerusalem, so that in a foreign land he could see 70 elders burning incense and kneeling in idol worship, while the smoke from the burning incense ascended, as if they were addicted to idol worship. He said to me, "Patient one, look, each of the elders of Israel, in the privacy of their idol chambers, secretly engages in their practices. Have you seen it?" They said, "Yahweh cannot see us. Yahweh has forsaken this land." Then he said to me, "You will yet see them committing even more detestable deeds." He led me to the north gate of the temple of Yahweh, where some women were presenting petitions, mourning for the god Damath. He said to me, "Son of man, you will see even more detestable things. That is, those people around God's temple, including women, who in their idol worship lament for a god called Damath, even weeping for the god Uga." So let's continue. He then led me to the inner court of the temple at the gate of Yahweh's temple. There, between the corridor and the altar, about 25 people had their backs turned to the sanctuary of Yahweh, facing eastward. They were bowing down to the sun in the east. They are worshipping the sun facing east. They believed the sun was a god. People came to worship the sun, and said, "Some countries say sun god, sun god." China's Mid-Autumn Festival is about worshipping the moon. They say moon god, like this. They would kneel and worship like this. Then, we see what God says. He said to me, "Be patient, did you see this? Is it not a great evil that they commit such detestable acts here? They have filled the land with violence. repeatedly provoking me to anger. Look, I take the rod. I take the branch. They hold the branches, right in front of my nose. Therefore, I will treat them with fierce anger. My eyes will show no pity, nor will I relent. Even though they cry loudly in my ears, I still will not listen to them. They said the idols they made are for idol worship. Then loudly they begged God, saying, Jehovah, please save us, Jehovah. Please save us. God will not listen, because they served other gods. God will not hear. This tells the story of Israel angering God by worshipping idols. So, after some years, God allowed the temple to be destroyed, because the temple became a place for idol worship. No longer a place for the true God, but a place for idol worship. So God planned to destroy the temple, and to destroy Jerusalem, burned by fire. Because God is a righteous God, He cannot tolerate any misunderstanding. May all glory be to the Father. Amen.